G'day and welcome to just a really short creative location video. I've actually built this centipede or millipede trailer configuration, and someone asked, how do you make it go up and down but not bunch up too bad? Now it doesn't have any rotational bearings on it, so for some actions it doesn't work very well, but for getting up and around and doing mining or any of those sort of things that you might do in survival, it does a lot of that, and it does it really well. It's only steered by the concrete head, and the reason why it is concrete is to keep those wheels on the ground so we can actually maintain a turn. But you can see here we're actually getting up, around and through these hills pretty well, considering what we're doing. But because we've got such short segments and everything's all really close together, it's why it can do that quite easily. So it is actually a very agile vehicle, if not very practical, because the trailers are so small. I'll just show you that in a second. So up front, it's got a concrete head, and that's got a single bearing which is connected to the steering, and it's powered through those front tyres. In this particular instance, I'm taking advantage of the test tree of Scrap Mechanic. In test, the Tier 5 engines are now available in Creative. So much fun, it gets you to do these sort of things. So you can see I've got a few of them connected up. But what's really important is the trailers only have one function of one bearing in one location. I hope that makes sense to everybody. The front of the trailers have an up-down, and the back of the trailer has a left-right. So this left-right is holding up the trailer pin, but it also allows the other segment to go up and down like a seesaw. And if you think of that all the way through, they're all exactly the same. Now the other thing that's different is the position of the hinges and the hitches versus the wheels. We've got a long tail on the trailer, and what that allows for is for the train to straighten up a lot better, and it doesn't have as much trailer sway once we try and straighten up. The trailers want to line up behind each other because they're not balanced. They actually have the pull on the rear exaggerates the trailer and will square it up. So that's why there's a difference. And then what that does is it brings the center of the center line. If you consider the tires to be like a universal joint, the tires can move left and forward and back on each side. So it's got a rotational ability, if you think of it in that way. And then it's also got an up-down because of the way it works, like a seesaw. So the tires are the universal joint, and then the ends of the trailer combine to become the linkage. So yeah, so that's why we've got minimal linkage here. I don't have any roll in the trailers, so eventually somewhere along the line the trailer will be held up off the ground. But what ends up happening is the curved piece or the flat piece or the up-down piece will start to take the roll out as it traverses the terrain. So it's actually a almost unnecessary thing, but you could add it if you thought that it might be useful to you to add a rotational bearing in. But again, only make one rotational bearing per trailer segment, if that makes sense. Yeah, so it's got a little bit of geometry, it's got a little bit of shenanigans going on, but what that means is the trailers like to straighten out without going too much out of control with the continued S. I'll just see if we can get it to straighten up. Terrain's a bit iffy. So it's actually the trailer head that's doing that. Sorry. It says the eyes are trying to straighten up. I need to find a space we can go straight. Yeah, you can see there we've straightened up not too bad, and it's only the very tail of the trailer arrangement that has any sort of tries to flick out. And the reason why it flicks out is I got my bearings back to front. It actually finishes with an up-down, when it should technically finish with a pivot, so it needs 2 pivots here. But I'm not going to go and rearrange all my trailers just so I can get a pivot on my trailer. So that's why it's got 4 wheels, is to stop it from going up and down. Yeah, so yeah, I hope you guys are able to easily replicate this and have a play and a bit of fun. From a practicality point of view, because the trailers are so small, it'd be difficult to put anything of use on the trailer in survival, if that makes sense. So if we were to put a refiner in here, the refiner would take up to the second rear tyres. It's quite a big machine. And then once we start doing that, we're reducing the number of wheels under our mobile refining, so that becomes challenging for traction and that sort of stuff. But yeah, at this scale it works really good. It seems to be proportional to the tyre size, which was another reason why I've gone with this size. So it looks sort of half cool. Yeah,